Kinda. I actually tried to land on the sharp rock, but you're good.
A Santa Cruz Mega Tower. I'm currently riding a 2019 Santa Cruz Bronson. So the Mega Tower is really similar to my Bronson that I currently have. My Bronson is 150 millimeters of travel in the rear. The Mega Tower is 160. The Bronson has 27.5 wheels. The Mega Tower is a 29er. So the Mega Tower is a little bit bigger of a bike. The reason I decided I wanted to also try this bike is I'm a pretty big boy, and a lot of the time the Bronson does not quite have enough travel for me. I do bottom it out a lot. Sometimes it's just not quite enough bike because I've gone all the rounds with tuning the shocks, all the volume spacers. Unfortunately, I'm just kind of heavy for it. But I decided I wanted to try the Mega Tower to see if that little bit of extra travel leads to just being more of a plush bike, feeling more like a downhill bike, or if I can get that same snappy feeling that my Bronson has with just a little more suspension. I'm not super savvy with all the technical details on the progression of the shock curve, but from what I was told, this bike is supposed to be, it's not supposed to push through the travel very easy. It's supposed to ramp up really well. I'm hoping that this bike will feel a lot like my Bronson, just 29er, a little more travel. I decided to come up to Cold Creek today because normally if I was to test out a bike, I would test it out on Corral because that's a trail I ride the most, and I think it's a pretty good, well-rounded trail with having a good rock garden, jumps, flowy berms, flat turns. You can kind of open it up through some flats and get on it. And unfortunately, Corral is just a dust bowl right now, and it's really not going to be a very good testing area. So I thought I would come up to Cold Creek where I could really ride a flatter, flowier trail and really open it up, but get to jib around on it a little bit and hop around in manual and see if it feels like too much bike or if it feels right at home. So we're praying for a Bronson 29er out of this Mega Tower. So set up and see how it feels. See you out on the trail. All right, about 2/3 of the way up now. I decided to take a little break. There's this sweet little jib over here. It's like this little, couple rocks going up the side of the hill to this little launch off, just like a slab lip. So I figured this would be kind of a good place to stop and give the suspension a little test here. See, go up and try to launch off that corner, which is pretty big. Doesn't really look that big. It's a lot bigger in person. Washed out over here on the side too, so pretty good handling test for this bike. So far, the climb has been really good, surprisingly good. Having a little more suspension and not being totally tuned for my weight, so I think it could be a little better. But I really like climbing with the 29er, filling up the little techie spots. I was able to make a lot of them that I don't normally make, so stoked on that. And let's get this little side hit a try. Oh, and look at this little bird nest right here. It's just right off to the side of the trail. Give this video a thumbs up if you appreciate nature. Whew, nice, not too bad. That actually felt really good. Wish I would have taken it a little higher, but maybe on the way down, hit it again and go a little higher. It's kind of a weird lip where you gotta like carve into the rock slab, so it's kind of hard to hold your speed and not speed check into it, because I felt like once I got to the top, I definitely didn't have enough speed to fluently go off the top, and that little tree is pretty close, so I did not want to nick my bar on that little tree, because that was sad. But as far as the suspension goes, it felt really good. I didn't bottom out. Onward to the next one. To see how the 29er wheels are gonna do through here. Sometimes I have trouble making it through here on my Bronson. Kind of curious if this is gonna be better or worse. I think it could go either way, so. felt a lot better. Kind of weird at first with the 29er wheels. Deeper little chute to the rocks. I felt like I didn't have much control, but man, did it roll over everything. I didn't even get that far back. Like I was kind of thrown off. It wasn't really balanced, but this thing faded up. So I'm gonna keep going up and do the other section. Last major section of the trail. This is the longer rock garden on Cold Creek. It is kind of steep, kind of deep. I know some of you guys probably ride gnarlier stuff, but for me, this is about as gnarly as it gets on my daily rides as far as rock gardens and the previous rock garden I was riding. So if the bike holds its composure really well through here, then that's a major plus for me. Here's a quick little look at it. This is the top section of it, mainly just kind of slabby stairs, and then this is where it gets kind of steep and deep. Normally right in here on my Bronson, I'll clip my pedals about right in here just because I'll be so low in my travel and it's hard for me to get out in that 150. So I'm hoping with the Mega Tower being the 160, having the extra 10 millimeters of travel, I'll be able to get through this rock garden a little easier. Maybe, maybe not. But I also don't want to feel like I'm riding a downhill bike through here necessarily. I still want to feel that trail bike style through here, just with a little more money in the bank in the rear. So give it a try and see how it is. Yes, that felt super good. Just what I was looking for. Not too squishy and plush like a downhill bike, but just a little more for a trail bike. That was perfect. Oh, that was so much fun. Not nearly as sketchy as on my Bronson. Oh, sick. That was a lot of fun. All right, to the top so we can get out of here before the sun goes down. Alright, so picking up from yesterday, finished up Cold Creek, and for some reason the GoPro stopped recording. There was like a memory card error. So I think I only got like the first half of the lap coming down Cold Creek with the GoPro footage. But overall, my thoughts on the Mega Tower on Cold Creek Trail. And remind you, Cold Creek is not very steep, definitely a little more flat and flowy. Well, I wouldn't say flat, but not real steep, just real flowy, lots of side hits. You'd want a bike that's fun to play around on, but can also keep its composure in the rock gardens. For Cold Creek, I would honestly give the Mega Tower a 9 out of 10. It was really good through the flowy sections, just skipping around on all the side hits. It didn't feel real squishy like a downhill bike. That was my main concern, was that the 160 was going to feel like too much travel through those flowier sections. And for a lighter person, it might feel like too much travel, but for me, being a pretty heavy guy, it honestly felt like a 29er Bronson to me. And especially through the rock gardens, it just had a little more forgiveness in those oh shit moments. So final thoughts on the Mega Tower on Cold Creek was 9 out of 10. Super impressed with it. I wanted to do another test ride today on another trail. I figured Toads would be a good test ride. It's a little chunkier than the stuff I would ride most days out of the week, but I think it is a good test spot because it is a quick trail but also has some techie sections. So I'm gonna go pick up Chris right now and he's gonna join me and we're gonna do a high noon Toads lap. set light now. Little pedal clip. Another one. I'm tired. Hugging that inside hill. I'm smoked. Slid out here last week, so you can slow down a little bit right there.